Are we live?
We are live, pal.
Kevin, I said, are we live?
We are live, pal. We are live, Bruce.
Kevin, now, for our audio listeners, when they hear this afterwards, you're just going to be listening to this and whatever, but we are on a live show. We don't do this much. We did this for SummerSlam, and really, that's about it. Usually we're pre-taped, but Kevin, it's Payback. It's only fair we give you loyal listeners and fans a live experience of Elite Heat. So how are we all doing? Let's all file in. Kevin, I know the mood's up, energy's up. You must be feeling good, pal.
Oh, yeah, we have so much to talk about. Not only are we going to be talking about Payback, not only are we going to be talking about Seth Rollins retaining his World Heavyweight Championship in a brutal, just tough, death-defying match against Nakamura. We are also going to be talking about some minor news that you guys may have heard.
Yeah.
CM Punk got fired from AEW. No big deal. We're going to talk about that later on. Boy, I have a lot to say about that. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Now, let's not waste any more time pandering here, pal.
Yeah.
Now, let's get right to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the show, it kicked off hot with the steel cage match, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Mm-hmm. This match went 20 minutes. I felt like this was a justified time length for this match, and I could not help but think the entire time while I'm watching this match, the only thing I could think was, man, this would have been great on SummerSlam.
Kevin, yeah, this stood out like a sore thumb in a good sense. This was, I don't know. We saw SummerSlam with that infamous match that we both loved, that everyone loved, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, where the most memorable moment was a shoot knee strike. We all remember that. Now we had this was excellent. Kevin, what was your, I guess, either favorite part or just general takeaways from this? Because, I have a bunch I can get to, but I want your ruthless opinion. This opened the show. What did you think?
My favorite spot of the match is probably when they were both slamming each other's head into the cage. It was like, wow, that's cool. I really like the pacing of it. The other two times these women wrestled, it wasn't great pacing. I thought Zoe Stark, like we had talked about in the preview, I thought Zoe Stark was necessary. I thought she added an element to this match. And, the post-match breakdown with her and Trish like yelling at her, I thought that was good. Trish is like, oh, you're not serving me anymore. Get away from me.
Yeah.
That's always good.
So, yeah.
Classic heel
stuff.
Yeah, classic heel stuff. But what about you, pal?
I thought the way they used the cage was great. Because, Kevin, we've seen cage matches where the cage might as well not be there, or it's literally its only purpose is to, like, ruin the view of the camera shot. But these two, even the first, like, half of the match, when the match isn't exactly, it's not as, like, peak stages. You've got, Trish is grating Becky's face on the cage. Becky's, like, doing the same to Trish. Becky's, and then Trish, like, they're, like, freaking out as their face is on the steel. Yeah. And then the camera kept zooming in on that like big wound Trish had on the forehead, and the commentary kept talking about it over and over and over again. It's like Corey Graves wouldn't shut up about that wound on the forehead. More on him later. More on what will become, Kevin, hopefully a new bit on our show called The Trash Men.
Yes.
More on that later. But nonetheless, no, I really like that. Obviously the forehead bruise. They used the twist of fate. They were paying homage to Trish and Lita from like 20 years ago. It's always cool, and they have little throwbacks there. Just might as well. I love the tug of war bit. We literally physically with Trish, Zoe Stark, and Becky did a tug of war. Like it's cool spots like that. Creative, interesting. I liked it. Kevin, if you had to be a star ratings guy, and give this a star rating out of 5, I know we have some loyals in the chat right now who love star ratings. If you had to give a rating, what would you give this?
I'd probably give it like 3.25. I would say 3.25, 3.5. But what's that? What's that face for?
3.25. I'm like, if that's 3.25, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just because it's a standout match on the show. I'm not gonna make a knee-jerk decision and say that's like a 4-star match. I don't know if I could say that in good faith. What do you think? Is that where you're going? Like 4 stars?
What more could they have done realistically to get any higher of a ratings? I feel like for these two, with this stipulation, that was the best they could have possibly done.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. You're probably right. I don't know. I just want to say this too. I'm pretty sick. I've been sick all weekend.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that if I sound like I'm out of it or anything. So maybe I just need to go back and rewatch this match when I'm not sick.
Yeah. Well, because Kevin, in my opinion, everyone was saying, or what I was being told people were saying at least in the feedback, was that this was on par with, or this is better than, or maybe second to Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair from WrestleMania. I thought that match was overrated. Rhea versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. That was boring for 12 minutes. And then they did some finishes in the last 8, and everyone said it was a 5-star match. That match is overrated. This match, right from the start, because they opened, the crowd was good. The use of the cage right from the jump, they were involving the structure, and they did good spots throughout. It went like 20 minutes. I thought it was like a 4.25 sort of match. I liked it quite a bit.
Interesting. 4.25. Wow, that's interesting.
I thought this was the co-match of the night alongside the street fight. That's just me. So ways to be saying. Maybe some people will disagree. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting review. So yeah.
Wow, look at that. JT getting some heat in the chat. You'd love to see that.
Really?
Usually it's me that gets the tomatoes thrown at him. So throw the tomatoes.
Oh my god!
Throw the tomatoes at him.
The first half of Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair was like what?
Anyway. Yeah, let's not go off the rails. Throw your tomatoes at JTE. For now, I'm gonna stick with 3.5 stars for that match. I have to go back and rewatch it. If you're saying it's 4 stars and everybody else seems to be saying it's 4 stars, maybe I missed something. I must have watched a different match. I don't know. Becky Lynch gets the win. Then we get a little post-match interview later on the show with her and Tiffany Stratton. Are you interested in seeing that program? Seeing Becky Lynch go down to NXT, challenge for the NXT Women's Championship?
Hell yeah. Why not? I prefer that than Shayna Baszler versus whoever in a 15-minute shoot knee strike match on pay-per-view. I prefer that to a 17-minute Rhea Ripley Raquel Gonzalez match, which we'll get to later. But nonetheless, Kevin, let's just move this along. There's plenty to cover today. I want to talk Cena, okay?
Yes.
Cena, the Payback host, him being the host made my investment from this show from like to okay. When's Payback on? Went from to okay. So Cena comes out. This is how I'll read my notes, okay? So John Cena's here! Exclamation mark. So my stream crashes as soon as Cena comes out, which was great. And then I wrote Hogan, Flair, Austin, Cena, the GOATs, the Mount Rushmore. That was my, non-opinionated little write down in my notes. Then I write down this, Kevin. This is a bit racy, bit spicy for the chat. The Miz looks like a drag queen Jedi. So there's that. Do with that what you will, Kevin. But yeah, on your thoughts. So Cena's in the ring. Pittsburgh showering him with chants. They love Cena. Mike Mizanin comes out dressed as a Jedi. What were your thoughts? When you're watching at this stage, what's Kevin Garcia thinking?
I actually thought the promo off between him and The Miz was pretty good. I kind of dug it. I kind of dug the segment. Cena coming out, pandering, and like that whole solo part where it's just him like doing his thing, like throwing his t-shirt, throwing up the sign. It's so weird to see John Cena become a beloved figure amongst like wrestling fans, because he's been amongst like adults and hardcore fans and pretty much everybody except for like women and children, which was like, some of the people at pay-per-views throughout the years. Yeah. He would be just showered with Cena sucks chants and John Cena sucks and go away. And now it's just strange.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the norm to watch him come out and just like, now they're announcing him as the greatest of all time, which I think is super cringe. Yeah. I just have to say that. That's like beyond cringe. That's like if the announcer at the Lakers games were like, oh, this is the greatest of all time, making his way to the court, LeBron James. Like, it's just beyond cringe. Please, enough of that. But other than that, I liked everything about this appearance with Cena. Like I was saying earlier, the Cena Miz stuff was fun. Miz had the line about, what did he say? That Cena looked like a Teletubby.
Yeah, so they're discussing what Cena's wearing as the host, and Miz goes, I mean, you look like a 50-year-old Teletubby, which I'll take that. That's if The Rock said that is going absolutely viral and everywhere. So it was a good line, objectively a good line. I like that. I mean, I like that you mentioned that thing with announcing the GOATs. Like, I mean, LeBron should be announced as the GOAT at Laker games. He is the GOAT, just objectively. I'm not even gonna. That's objectively not even an argument. That being said, Kevin, I love the back and forth here with Cena and Miz. It was. I'm sure for you, Kevin, you're getting flashbacks to 2011. You're about to go into the 5th grade or whatever year group you're in. You're getting PTSD flashbacks, I'm sure. But for me, I thought this was, entertaining. Like, Cena's like, Miz, you've hosted more than I have. And Miz is like, yeah, I hosted. Remember, I hosted WrestleMania? And I was thinking, yeah, I remember when Miz hosted WrestleMania. That was when Shane McMahon blew out his knee, and then Snoop Dogg jumped in the ring, botched the people's elbow, and then Miz got pinned. I remember that, Mike. Like, yeah, because the Miz is a great host. It was just a funny interaction. Point being, Kevin, they get to LA Knight and the Miz. That's really the next talking point here. Kevin, if you think LA Knight is over, say yeah.
Let me say this before I respond to that. I thought it was hilarious that Cena was burying the Miz the whole time. It's like, yeah, you're a good host, pal. Yeah, you're good at this whole thing. I usually don't do this. I'm the main eventer. I've been in like A-list celebrity movies. You just host Raw segments, pal. That was great. I love that by Cena. Continue now. Ask me again.
I was just going to say, so yeah, LA Knight, Miz, they had their match. I was like surprised. I didn't expect it to be bad. I didn't expect it to be overly great either. I'm sure a few people are similar. What they produced was good. Cena and his special guest referee role was really entertaining. Cena is so like over the top. I guess that's why a number of the Attitude Era fans who hate him and just adults who hate him and stop watching because of him don't like him. It's the goofiness. Like during the match, I liked it. I liked every time LA Knight or Miz did anything, Cena's face would be like that. It's like a cornball, over the top, goofy reaction. So that being said, Kevin, the initial question I had for you, what were your thoughts on the match? Did you love this match? Are you going to show this match to your friends, family, everyone? Like, what were your thoughts?
Definitely not going to be showing it to friends and family. But I did like this match.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was solid. It was, I would say, better than I expected. It got the job done. And I will say this, LA Knight felt like a big deal after leaving this match. LA Knight, to me, when he and Cena clashed and they had their stare down at the end on the ramp as Cena raised his hand and put him over, I was looking at that thinking, okay, this is it. It's clicking now with LA Knight. I see it now. I see the hype that everybody has been saying LA Knight has. Like, for me, I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to jump right on a bandwagon. I want to wait and see, a few hundred people can say, oh yeah, LA Knight's the next big thing on Twitter. But I want to wait and see how it plays out organically on TV or on Peacock. Yeah. And I thought this played out very well.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, watching Cena stare down with LA Knight, and I was like, this is a match worthy of John Cena's return to WWE. This is a match worthy of him putting his body on the line, but risking not being able to get movie deals because he injures himself in the ring. Not that match we saw with Austin Theory at WrestleMania. That is not a match worthy of seeing John Cena return. LA Knight is now on the level of a John Cena, and it's an intriguing matchup. It's an intriguing feud.
Yeah.
When I say he's on the level, I just mean he's on the level of a credible opponent for John Cena. And we didn't really have a lot of new guys, quote unquote, that we could say were credible opponents for Cena. When we would try to fantasy book Cena's opponent for WrestleMania, it's we could have him face Edge or, put him in there with Roman Reigns. But it's nice to see a face like LA Knight, and that now could benefit from the rub of John Cena. So I assume we're going to see that at Fastlane. That'll be great. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I do like it's pretty obvious what WWE are doing. We discussed this in the preview. It's just a general thing. WWE brass, the Paul Levesque, the head honchos, the Nick Khans, the board, they're trying to decide and they're trying to see in real time where on the spectrum of Fandango to Daniel Bryan, LA Knight falls. Is this just someone who's over in Europe because of a catchy chant like Fandango? Or is this someone who's going to have a year-long ride of momentum to a WrestleMania main event? Where on that spectrum does LA Knight fall? So this match was really good in sort of deciding that. This was a definitive bit of proof. This isn't Fandango. He's definitely a few steps further up the ladder than that. Where they're still, I guess, deciding whether that's US champion, whether that's upper mid card, is that maybe a one-off feud with a Roman not winning? Where does LA Knight fall? We're going to find out. Two things I did like as well. The boo yeah sequence in LA Knight matches. This is now a thing. That's really good. When his opponent punches him, boo, and he hits them, yeah. Like they do like a very over the top instead of just boo, how it usually is, or the crowd just going through the motions. This time the crowd can really get behind it. Whenever LA Knight has some offense, they go like they scream, yeah. One more thing, a bit of Kevin, my exclusive club, I'm going to call it the Trash Men. So first member, I inducted officially at SummerSlam, Corey Graves. I called him garbage. Bit of proof, okay? When people ask why I criticize Corey Graves or commentary, this was Corey Graves' direct quote. So at this stage, you got LA Knight is punching. He's doing clean punches on Miz, all right? So LA Knight's clean punching Miz, whatever. Cena's just sort of standing there. He's doing his job. Graves in the most boring, monotone, dry tone. Come on, Cena, get in there. Those are clenched right hands. Boring. Who cares? If that was Jesse the Body Ventura, all right. If that was Jesse the Body, I can't do his voice perfectly, but picture the Jesse the Body voice. He'd be screaming, John Cena's a disgusting cheat monsoon. What a terrible excuse for a referee. This is a joke, McMahon. It's the emotion, it's the wording, it's the making you react. Corey Graves that's a prime example. Just goes through the motions. It's just whatever. But Kevin, stop me there. That's all. Cena gives LA Knight his flowers. We can move on.
Yeah, I want to say this real quick before we do move on.
Yeah,
LA Knight is super over. Like it's evident. Like it's lasting. It's been like 3 or 4 months now of this LA Knight movement. He's faced The Miz and now in a mid-card match. Presumably he's going to get a main event style program, main event feud with John Cena. That's really the next big test. If he could do this and have good promo offs with Cena, because Cena's going to come for his jugular when they're standing and they're holding microphones, standing across from each other. Cena's going to come bring in the heat, and I want to see how LA Knight responds. But man, he's over, and he's going to be a big star. I see it. I see it now. All right, now next match, pal. Is there any segments or anything that happened that we missed, or are we just going right to the next match?
Not particularly. We can just move on to this match. This was the.
Oh, can I intro this?
It's not the annual. It's not the right word. This is the every couple months Rey Mysterio Cinnamon Toast Crunch Theory sort of mid-cardy match of the show. Kevin, what are your thoughts on one of your favorite wrestlers of all time being relegated to let's put the Cinnamon Toast Crunch things on the screen and barricades during his match, guy? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this is a top 30 performer of all time in Rey Mysterio, an absolute legend and an icon of this business. A guy that's inspired generations of professional wrestlers, and he's in the ring with Austin Theory. And then on top of that, not only is he in the ring with Austin Theory for no rhyme or reason other than Austin Theory carried around a prop for 11 and a half months. Like he was carrying the prop when Vince was still writing things. So he's got to get a rematch, pal, because he was carrying a prop in airports and in hotels and backstage at the arena. He's at the gym doing push-ups. Got the U.S. title there staring at him. Now, Austin Theory is entitled to a rematch on a pay-per-view. I digress. So Rey Mysterio's out here doing the best he can with this match. And then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, it's a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is sponsoring this match. Thank you. Oh, beautiful cereal. Go get your Cinnamon Toast Crunch at your local Walmart or grocery store, whatever you have near you. Like, come on, come on. I mean, the only thing we needed was one of the LWO members, like Zelina Vega. All we needed was Zelina Vega dressed up as a piece of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And that would have been the cherry on the cake. This match, not it for me. I know a lot of people like Austin Theory. I love Rey Mysterio. But, I mean, they did some cool spots. But, man, I don't know. It was average, It sucks that Rey Mysterio's not given better content to work with on what could be his last run.
It's the Theory match. He's there, I guess. We'll give him a participation trophy. We'll praise him because he does his job. I guess, Kevin, I don't know. I just wrote, and Art in the chat here, I assume you're referring to Theory when you say, how's the kid supposed to get better if he doesn't work with the best? I mean, he worked with Cena at WrestleMania. Did that make him better? Did it? I don't know.
Yeah, Cena definitely regrets doing that match.
I know.
And he's been held off of pay-per-views for like the last 3 or 4 months. He wrestled at Backlash, and then this was his first pay-per-view in the last 3, I want to say.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if he was going to get better, he would have gotten better by now, I think.
You know, he worked with Vince McMahon, worked with Seth Rollins in an infamous program, like a several month long big match program last year. Like they've tried with him. It doesn't click. And maybe in 2 years they'll do something. I'll change him up, and it will. You never know. Like that happened with Roman Reigns. They tried for ages with him. That didn't work. Now he's the best of this generation by far because of how they've changed him. So fair enough.
It could happen.
Kevin, my notes, quite literally my notes for this, Kevin. All right, Theory versus Rey Mysterio. You ready for this?
Oh, this should be good.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, lol. All right, Theory is walking garbage.
Oh, no.
And then I go the second member of the Trash Men, so Corey Graves and Theory. So there's my club. My club's building, and there's one more member to come later on. So, Rey wins, thankfully. Yay. I think we can move on. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about with Theory, pal?
No, I'm done. All right, fourth match of the show.
Yes.
Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a Pittsburgh Steel City street fight. Jimmy, hit us with it. Give us your most brutal, raw, uncut, absolutely just transparent thoughts on this Steel City street fight.
This exceeded what I thought it would be. I don't know what you thought of this. I thought this would be more like what they had the last 5 to 10 minutes of the SummerSlam, like Balor Rollins match, where it was sort of just like briefcase being slid in, Judgment Day members. I mean, it was Judgment Day members flying everywhere. That's what this became in the end. Yeah. But I like a lot of this match, especially the first, 3 quarters. The whole match was pretty good. There weren't really like bad moments. Kevin Owens, in my opinion, was the star of the match. Him in like the jersey, the bleeding, the Swanton bomb spot, the Dirty Dom, that was like the highlight. That was nuts. You know, like that's a Jeff Hardy 2008, 2009 move that you're talking about in schools. You're talking about at the cooler at work as you're making your lunch in the break room. Like that's like a sick move. So Owens did that to Dirty Dom, like on the floor through a table, in the middle of the Pittsburgh arena, pal. So that was great. I'll get your thoughts, pal. This match, it progressed the story of Judgment Day. I guess they now have all the titles. They're just making them another one of these Triple H, Undisputed Eras, Bloodlines, another just stable with all the belts. I think that's just what Paul Levesque does. So, thoughts on that? Thoughts on the match? What are your vicious opinions, pal?
I thought this was match of the night. It was great. If I had to give it a star rating, I'd probably give it 4.5 stars.
Okay. Wow.
I thought it was one of the better street fights of the PG era. Like, I was watching this match, and I was thinking about, like, the times when we're watching, like, Randy Orton and Sheamus, or Randy Orton and Alberto Del Rio beat each other up in PG era street fights, like 2013. I thought this was, like, for what it was good. The hockey spot, when Owens and Zayn put on the hockey jerseys and Owens had the blood pouring down his face, he paid tribute to AEW's Jon Moxley in that moment. What a moment. I love the hockey stuff. That was awesome. And Michael Cole calling the Pittsburgh Penguins the Pittsburgh Steelers. That set up Cole. That set up Corey for his line of the night, where he's just like, "You idiot! They're the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Steelers have 6 Super Bowls." Like, that's literally Corey Graves' line of the night, is correcting Michael Cole for his mistake, because Michael Cole doesn't care about real sports. or he was trying to mess with Corey Graves since he's from Pittsburgh. And I gotta say this too. I watched our preview. Speaking of Pittsburgh. And I cannot believe that I said that Shane Douglas and Mick Foley are the only 2 wrestlers to come from Pittsburgh. I was listening to that back, and I was like, how did I forget Kurt Angle and Bruno Sammartino? Literally 2 of the top 20 wrestlers of all time are born from Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh got 2 out of 20. Like, that's what, 10%? They got 10% of the 20 greatest wrestlers of all time, and I completely did not name either one of those.
You said Shane Douglas? Shane Douglas
and Mick Foley.
But not Bruno Sammartino, who held the title 11 years. And then what? Kurt Angle, one of the, as we discussed in our bio 2 months ago, one of the greatest of the modern era. Wow.
Yeah, I probably have COVID. My memory is... Oh, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it on the stream. We're going to get taken down. I probably have the virus. So my memory is going foggy.
Okay. One more thing. You review this match really well. JD McDonough. Is it McDonough or McDonough or
McDonough?
McDonough, whatever his last name is. JD, whatever. He's like the third and final member of the Trash Men for now. He comes out, interferes late in the match, and then Owens literally grabs him, slams him on the floor. Like it looked painful. It looked like it hurt.
And was it like when Randy Orton used to slam Jinder Mahal's buddies?
Yeah, it looked like that.
Yeah,
like the way Owens
like
got
that,
him. Owens got him and like clotheslined him. And McDonald just like slammed back first on the floor. It looked like it really hurt. And then he grabbed him and threw him to the table. I'm like, ha! Ha! So there you go. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the ending? I want your ruthless thoughts because Damian Priest is standing there. He's got the Undisputed, he's got both tag titles. There's the Money in the Bank briefcase.
There you go, my ruthless, raw, uncut thoughts. I was not too invested in the tag team champions because, they've been left off of pay-per-views. They don't really get a ton of TV time. The tag team division is not really a focus right now. So I wasn't like on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, I want to see Kevin and Sami keep the titles, or I want to see Judgment Day like work together and Damian Priest and Finn Balor work out their issues and win the belts. So, like that, for that aspect, I was like, okay, like the finish happened, Judgment Day get the titles. I do think the tag team titles will be better on them. They get more TV time than Owens and Sami do.
Yeah.
Why not put the titles on them? They're literally Raw is built around them every single week. They're the focal point of Raw. Those guys get at least like 4 to 5. Those guys and girl get 4 to 5 segments combined at minimum per show on Monday night.
Yeah.
So you might as well have them like standing in the ring starting Raw every week with all the titles, with the tag team titles and the North American title and the women's title. Why not? That's the way I look at it. I agree. Yeah, and yeah, there you go. I will park it there. There's more we can say. I think we'll save this for maybe a late take in the coming week or so. There'll be a big show with that. But that being said, do you want to move it on, pal? Yes. Let's talk about Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. I'll be quick on this because I know you have a lot to say. This match, and I'm going to talk about this in my overall summary of the show, but this match dragged. Go ahead. Oh, you want to talk? You want to talk about the Waller effect?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
The fact of the matter is,
yes, do that.
My boy,
yes,
the best Australian, like true Australian talent. 70% Rhea Ripley is some Australian. Grayson Waller's a legit. He's an Aussie Australian. Watching his segments is fantastic. I've never felt more represented by a talent. He's great. And just a couple of just quick examples of this. He's in the ring. They do the big entrance. Crowd's already booing him before he even starts speaking. He goes, I've seen Pittsburgh's rating levels. None of you can finish a story. Like, even if some writer wrote that in a room with Triple H and Nick Khan, that's still, the way he delivered it is hilarious. He performed that line and got a great reaction, a big boo because of that. While he was mocking Cody's whoa, he was mocking it the whole time.
Yeah, that was great.
Brilliant.
That was funny. That was funny.
That was great. And then Cody goes, Pittsburgh. What are you? And Waller goes, hey, shut up. No one cares what Pittsburgh wants to talk about. They're a bunch of idiots, Cody. So just get your announcement. And like the whole thing is literally Grayson Waller. He does this with everyone. It's Cody, it's Edge, it's whoever's on this show, whichever established stars on the show. The whole thing, he dismisses entirely this like great main eventer and like this right next to him. He goes, I don't care about you. You suck. I want a viral moment for my show because I'm Grayson Waller. Like that is brilliant. That's better. There's a theme to that. It's better than just Miz TV where he sits there for 15 years with a microphone with an M on it going, oh, there's some beef here. Oh, Nikki Bella slapped Brie Bella. Oh my gosh, Kofi Kingston is arguing with Dolph Ziggler. Oh, and like Miz is like this idiot just like kind of moderating. Grayson Waller stirs the pot. He's dramatic. He's into it. So Kevin.
That was ridiculous. Thank you for that.
But that being said, pal, what'd you think? The segment, the announcement. Do you want to reveal the big announcement for our listeners who may not have seen this show, pal?
Yes, the big announcement for those who have not seen Payback 2023. Cody Rhodes came out into the Waller effect, and he announced that main event Jey Uso is now the newest member of WWE Monday Night Raw. So my question to you, has Triple H sat in a creative meeting, one-on-one with Cody Rhodes, and as he said, you know what? Tony Khan gave CM Punk his own show and creative control over his own show. and the right to send people home, and the right to recruit anyone he wants to Collision, right? Did Triple H say, you know what, Cody? You can now recruit people to Raw. Raw is your show. Me and Nick Khan are going to negotiate the sponsorships, the rights fees, but here, Cody, here's the keys. You run Raw. Is that what happened here? Did I miss that? Does Cody have his own show now? We're going to get Cody and his buddies going Raw on Monday nights? Is that what's going on here? When did Cody get the power to have wrestlers change brands?
Well, Kevin, he's the greatest talent in wrestling today. He was robbed of a world championship at WrestleMania. He appears every night getting monstrous reactions. He's objectively the biggest star in wrestling. Good on him. He deserves the creative and the political pull backstage, pal. And yes, I hope Cody, Paul Levesque, Nick Khan don't take notes from that inmates running the asylum debacle, in AEW. Don't take backstage notes from them. Do your own thing. But yeah, is Cody recruiting Jey Uso to run his own show, pal? Are they going to call Monday Night Raw? Are they going to rebrand Monday Night Raw to Monday Night Elevation, Monday Night Dark, pal? Are we going to get the Dark Order coming out and Cody saying, this is...
We got QT Marshall on Raw.
Pal, we're going to have Pharaoh versus Matt Riddle and a Kennel from Hell match, pal. Pal, this is Cody's Raw. Pal, we're going to have Brandy Rhodes slapping Brie Bella, pal.
I like my name of going Raw on Monday nights with Cody Rhodes. Or Cody goes Raw on Monday nights with his buddies. How about that? That's it.
Imagine Nick Khan in the board meeting. He's got these 8-figure high value executives, suits and ties, all these 58-year-old white dudes who are addicted to coffee. They're sitting around this table, and Nick Khan he lays down the law. He's like, we've made 8 figures from Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We're gonna spend that money on making it Monday night. What did you just call it?
Yeah, going Raw with Cody on Monday nights.
Yes, that. With that being said, yeah, Cody announced Jey Uso, and then Cody dipped, and he was standing on the aisleway, just sort of standing there watching. Grayson Waller proceeds to literally trash Jey Uso for a minute, which is hilarious. He's like, "Hey, you called me unprepared on my own show. Hey, what are you doing? I mean, you've done nothing in your own career by yourself. Who are you? You're what have you done? Are you Jimmy or Jey Uso? It's just
that was great. Yeah, this whole thing is great. Yeah, I like Jey Uso's new theme song too. I want to shout that out.
Yeah, and then Jey punches him. Grayson Waller rolls around like he's been shot, and then the segment ends. Jey Uso is doing that with the crowd, and they're doing those camera shots, and you got Pittsburgh. This whole arena is buzzing.
Yeah, Legion of Kurt Angle fans going crazy. Art is seemingly not a big fan of going Raw on Monday nights with Cody. So.
That's dreadful. You must have a bit of in the brain there for that idea. That's awful. That's awful.
I mean that would be funny. Come on. All right, pal. I made myself laugh, so I'll take that. All right, so Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez. I'll be quick on this. This match dragged, to say the least. That's probably the best way I would describe it. I'm kind of confused why this match got 17 minutes. I don't get that. And it's not just this match, I guess. The main event got almost 30, I want to say, 40 after the intro. So why this match got 17 minutes after that hot street fight and that hot segment with Cody and Jey Uso and Grayson Waller kind of confuses me about the placement of it. If you want a settle down match, a cool down match, why have that cool down match be 17 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I said this in the chat, which is probably the answer, because keyboard warriors online want equality for the women. So I guess it's just the length of the match, regardless of what that looks like when it's actually happening. In this case, it was 17 minutes and 20 seconds. This match should have been 5 minutes. This match should have been Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar women's edition, where they look at each other angrily for a minute. They're doing intense staring, and then spent 3-4 minutes. Finisher, kick out, signature, finisher, barricade spot, finisher, boom. That would have been more memorable, would have been fun. Instead, it was literally just them soaking up time. Rhea Ripley locking in some move on Raquel's arm. Raquel's shouting in pain. They'll get up. They'll go to the corner. Rhea's going to punch Raquel. Raquel's going to move to the next turnbuckle. Raquel punches some more, and just sort of went on and on and on. And I was saying this, in Brian on a Discord. I was like, wrap this up. There's no reason this should be going on and on and on. In the end, Kevin, who would have thought? Dirty Dom came out. Rhea Ripley hit the Riptide and won.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could have saved 12 minutes. Just have it be Brock versus Goldberg women's edition. Instead, it was nearly 20 minutes. In the preview, we said this should go 8 at most, and it went nearly 20.
Why did Rhea Ripley need Dominic to help her beat Raquel Rodriguez? That's one question I have, too.
Disgraceful.
Yeah. Like, I no disrespect to Raquel Rodriguez. She's not really an established star. Like, they're working on building her, and they're doing a good job with that. I don't know. I think it would have made more sense to have them build up to a long and lengthy match the way they did with Becky and Trish. You build to it, and then you get to it. This match it could have been 5-6 minutes, finish your fest, or they could have done where Raquel surprises Rhea. It gets the better of her and is kicking her ass for 3.5 minutes, and Rhea barely escapes after surviving the early onslaught from Raquel Rodriguez. And they do it again. They run it back. There's so many different ways they could have gone about this. I was not too intrigued in watching these two girls do reversals and holds and cool moves. That's not really what either one is known for. Honestly, they're both brawlers.
It felt forced. I don't know. Whichever producer was assigned to this match did a terrible job. Whoever put this match as being 17, 18 minutes, bad decision. This really hurt the flow of the show. The other thing, after they do the Wallace segment, they've had that incredible street fight, Theory, Mysterio, whatever. But yeah, LA Knight, Cena, Miz. The opener was really good. I really enjoyed that. This really hurt the flow. This went 10 minutes too long. This happened at SummerSlam. Well, obviously Ronda and Shayna initially killed the show at SummerSlam, but then that Belair, Charlotte, Asuka match went 10, 15 minutes too long. That dragged to no end. This is becoming a problem. These co-main event women's matches that go on way too long. This needs to be addressed because this nearly, I won't say derailed the show, overreaction, but this was 12 minutes too long. And is it just because they both have the same physical as China? I guess Triple H loves them and they have to have a 20-minute match because they look similar to China, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it is. We had to watch Adam Scherr's bodylifting girlfriend take on Rhea Ripley. Fantastic. So that being said, pal, we can move on.
Yes. Main event time. Seth freaking Rollins going up against Shin, as Michael Cole annoyingly referred to him as several times on commentary. It's Shin, Corey. Shin. Oh, my God. I couldn't say it, but yeah. Seth freaking Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I like the intro.
Yes.
Rollins coming out and letting the crowd serenade him in his theme song. That was great. He's just sitting there soaking it all in. Rollins' entrance is entering the next level. Whatever that next level is in terms of entrance and presentation, Rollins has hit that. He's figured it out after years of trying to figure that out. He's hitting the next level, whatever that level is. And then Nakamura doing the anime intro. And yeah, that was cool. I really like that. That's hot right now. Anime's hot. It's smart for WWE to capitalize on that. Why not? Nakamura was just on Lil Uzi Vert's album. He's popular. People like Nakamura. And it's not his fault that he was misused and Vince McMahon didn't really know how to use him properly. Triple H does, and we saw that here. Now, with that being said, about the point about Vince not knowing what to do with him, that kind of hurts him here. When you have Nakamura, all right, to describe this for what it really is, when you break it down, you boil it down, this is a guy that Vince had in catering for the last 5 years. Pretty much through the pandemic era, he was doing nothing. After the run with Styles, he did really nothing. He had tag team title runs here. He was off TV for a lot of that time. This guy is facing Seth Rollins for a championship that's newly established, doesn't have a lineage, was just created because, hey, Roman has both belts and he's better than everyone else, so let's make this new belt. You combine that, all those factors, it's difficult for the crowd and for the viewers to get invested in the outcome and in the match itself. you pretty much know Seth Rollins is going to win. You know, it's very predictable. It's hard, but with that being said, they still had a pretty good match, I thought.
Yeah. No, I thought the fact that one, it was just a singles match. Two, the storyline's gone on for about 3-4 weeks, so it hasn't been too fleshed out. And the fact that the whole match was just about working it back. So you sort of pigeonhole yourself into what you can do, because you can't get really crazy when one guy's had his whole back worked over. So either you totally destroy the psychology of the match just for some big high spots late, just to kind of make it more fun, or you sort of just do the match and have a finish, and then the guy who got beaten up won, which is sort of what happened. Seth Rollins wins. How long did this go? What, 25, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 26 minutes was the official bell time.
Yeah, and like, I'd love to know, Art Carter, you're in chat. What did you give this? Because this is one of those matches I watched, and I was on a call with Brian. I wasn't even really saying much. I was watching the whole thing. I'm like, am I missing something? I want to consume this whole match. I want to see everything they do, pick up the pacing, crowd interaction, psychology, all of it. So I can give like the most fair rating. So Art gave it 4.25. Fair. To me, I felt like this match barely got out of first gear. I was watching it the first maybe 15, 20 minutes. It's, obviously working the back, which is only so much you can do. That's why I say they sort of pigeonhole themselves. I think some people were expecting this just because it's Rollins and Nakamura, that it'd be Zayn versus Nakamura from TakeOver Dallas like 7 years ago, because that was this like legendary big match. The crowd was riding all the waves of emotion, big spots. Zayn was doing big moves. It was this big, awesome match. This wasn't that. This was a kind of story, work the back, Rollins overcomes and gets a win. And I was expecting a Money in the Bank cash in. I was expecting something. I thought the show would end, as we said in the preview. Rollins wins, yes, but Nakamura assaults him from behind, maybe gets the sledgehammer out or gets a weapon, or maybe, I don't know, he hits a Kinshasa to the back and Rollins is in pain, and they get the stretcher out and Rollins is like gurneyed out to end the show as Nakamura is like laughing maniacally to end it. Something, I don't know. But this sort of ended. Rollins hit a stomp, and then he crawled over 5 seconds later, pinned Nakamura. Nakamura's at ringside, standing there like this. He's like, he's like laughing. Rollins is in the ring with the title. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen here? They show the Kurt Angle documentary teaser thing, and the show ends.
Well, Nakamura attacked him after the show went off the air.
Why was that after the show?
And it was on Twitter. That's what Brian's saying. So did he get stretchered out, Brian? Did he beat him up like real bad, and then the ambulance came out?
Why wasn't this on the show? Why didn't Priest at least try to cash in? Is Priest an idiot? Like, the world champion is literally in the ring and he can't stand up because his back is in agony.
Yeah,
run down and win. Like, I get it. Or even at least have him try. Maybe he runs out. I don't know. Here's an idea. Maybe Priest runs out because he's like, oh my God, I'm going to win. And then Balor runs out. Like, whoa. We had our moment earlier on the show. We had our moment. We're the Judgment Day. This is about us. It's not, stop trying to make this about yourself, and they can have an argument or something, and Rollins can run away. Or maybe Nakamura can attack. I don't know. The ending felt flat. Rollins won and the show ended. Kevin, what were your thoughts?
Well, for the Money in the Bank thing, we know they're waiting to do Damian Priest for his Bad Bunny at some point. So they got to just – they're not. That's why they're not advertising him, I assume. Because I thought it was kind of weird too. Like, it was just like, oh, Damian Priest is just holding this prop. Like, yeah, he's Senor Money in the Bank. But it didn't really have any significance on this show. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of is they're saving for Bad Bunny. Yeah, I mean, I like the psychology of the match. I thought it was solid. 3 3/4 stars, what I would give it. Yeah. The spot where Nakamura hit the Kinshasa and then he couldn't get the pin or didn't go for the pin, doesn't make a ton of sense. The Kinshasa to the back, and you would think that'd be enough if Rollins' back is that truly hurt. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the injury matches. That seems to be a staple of the Triple H era. It's just, this guy has an injured finger. Work the finger the whole match. Work the leg. We saw that with Bianca Belair. Yeah, it's good, but like sometimes I do want to see a balls to the wall match, like what we saw with Sammy and Nakamura. Like, you got these two guys, Rollins and Nakamura, haven't wrestled one-on-one in a high-profile match. Go balls to the wall. Why not? Yeah. I mean, they're going to run it back at Fastlane, but what are we going to see there at Fastlane? I don't know. It seems to be a theme with Nakamura matches too, or Nakamura feuds. Like with AJ, he was just going after his balls, and now he's going after Rollins' back. Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, is this just going to be the Styles feud again? Not to the extent of the low blows, because that was stupid. Everyone hated that. But like the match, like this match, for instance, you see Rollins and Nakamura on paper, and you think, oh, 5 stars, legendary match. I'm sure some slideshow guys and some reviewers and some podcasts will just give this 5 because of who's involved.
Yeah.
Ignoring the fact that, I mean, if that was just two randoms working the exact same match move for move, they'd give it like 3.5, probably. Just because of who's involved, they'll give it higher ratings, I guess. That's how the star system works. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. What I'm saying here is the Styles Nakamura feud, not that every match disappointed, because the one in Money in the Bank was pretty good. I remember in 2018, but the first ones were a bit like, yeah, it was good, but we wanted more. They could have gone another gear or 2 up, especially WrestleMania, that was the case. But will this be the same? I hope they just knock it out of the park at Fastlane if they do another match. Have it be balls to the wall. Have Rollins just go after Nakamura and try and finish him off. Hopefully that's where they're going. This is just sort of the storytelling match to get there. I'm not going to be too critical yet because we don't know. But for me, it was like 3.5, 3 3/4 sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the star rating system, you got to consider 2 other factors.
Yeah.
The guy who is holding the pen that writes the wrestlers' names on a piece of paper, that always factors in.
Of course.
The soil where the arena is on. You know,
Yes.
if the arena's in Japan or if it's in Chicago at Tony Khan's favorite arena, that you got to add like automatic another star just because of those 2 factors. You know, so it's shady. You know, overall thoughts on Payback for me, I give the show a solid B. I thought it was good. You know, it was average, above average. You know, I wouldn't say it was like the best pay-per-view or PLE of the year or anything like that. I thought it had potential to be, you know, the way they set it up and the way they booked it. But I do think overall this show dragged. You know, it was a long 3 hours and 25 minutes, or whatever it ended up being, whatever the final number ended up being. It was just long. It was 6 matches. And 4 of those matches were pretty much 20 minutes. You know, like, I don't know. Could Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus have accomplished the same thing in 16 minutes? Raquel and Rhea Ripley, we've already said they could have had a better match. In even 10, 12 minutes, they could have had a better match.
A better match than 5. That could have been way better. Yeah.
Yeah. So the flow for a 3.5 hour show to feel longer than that, it's not a great thing. You know, that's why I would say the show wouldn't get the A or the B+ or anything like that from me. Just for that factor alone.
Yeah, well, you give it a B, which I guess numerically, I mean, for me, I interpret a B as like a 7 out of 10, like a good
6.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was better than SummerSlam. This was probably
me too.
one half. Because I gave All In 7.5, like a B+ sort of thing. I gave this like a 7. You know, this wasn't much worse than All In. I thought, in my opinion, after Jey Uso was like announced on the Grayson Waller effect, I'm thinking this show could be really good. You know, because to that point, there'd been nothing really bad. There'd been some great matches, some really good crowd moments, some great segments, some big stars on the show. But really, to me, the show went from like potentially it could be an A, could be excellent. That Rhea and Raquel match was the big sort of it's dragging. It's dragging. That was the one that sort of hurt the flow. And then the Rollins Nakamura match not really getting out of a gear we know it can get out of, hurt it as well because of the storytelling, obviously. So yeah, and then the ending was just a bit Rollins wins, pal. Cool. Move on. See you at Raw.
We got to talk about the Cena interview too. That was fun. When Cena did the backstage interview.
I gave the show a 7, but Kevin, Cena interview. Talk to us.
Yeah, no, finish what you're saying. I just wanted to say that before I forgot.
No, I was just going to say, yeah. So to me, the show was on pace to potentially be like an 8 out of 10 A show. Could be like a show we look back on and say that was like a damn good, like that really surprised. Instead, it was a show which was, decent to good. Like, is it one that we're going to look back on and you're going to rush to go back and watch? No. Is it on the same level as Backlash or Elimination Chamber? No. Is it probably 2 rungs below? Yes, it's B. So there you go. That's all I have there.
Yeah. No, I just want to mention that real quick. The Cena interview, that was fun. You know, Cena in the suit, and he's just like he's doing like the classic like Anchorman. Like, I thought he was funny. Like, Cena showed why he's one of the most versatile actors in Hollywood. he's hilarious, man. That's all I wanted to say. Just had to mention that. I'm so excited to talk about CM Punk. Are you done?
Yes.
Are we done talking about Payback?
Yeah, but forget Payback, pal. Payback.
Yes.
Move on,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Talk to us. What happened today with CM Punk? I'm out of the loop, pal. What happened? Talk to us.
So I had to take a hit of the vape before I talk about this.
Wow. Your poor lungs, pal. Your poor lungs.
So AEW released a statement probably around like maybe 3 hours or so before Payback went live. And basically the statement was just like, yeah.
Do you want to read it? Pal, do you want to read the statement?
It's kind of long. It's a little long. You want me to read it?
I mean, Kevin, I think for the context, we are a professional podcast. I think it's only fair if you read the statement.
Okay? All right. Let me find it. Hold on.
Because, Kevin, this is a big deal. Kevin, this basically all but broke Twitter, essentially. This was something I first had you and Brian, and then another person sent this to me, this statement, Kevin. So have you got it up yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. Hold on.
You can tell we're live here. I've got it, pal. I'm going to read you the statement, and then I want your thoughts.
All right,
pal.
I got it. All right.
Okay, I'll read it, and then we'll get your ruthless thoughts. Okay, pal? Sound good?
Yep.
Statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling, brackets AEW, has terminated the wrestler and employment agreements between Phillip Brooks, CM Punk, and AEW with cause effective immediately. The termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, and then it's all Tony Khan's titles: CEO, General Manager, and Head of AEW Creative. The termination follows a week-long internal investigation of an incident occurring backstage at AEW All In London on Sunday, August 27th. Following the investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee, more on that later, that's interesting, met and later convened with outside legal counsel before making unanimous decision, or recommendation rather, to Khan that CM Punk be terminated with cause. Khan offered the following statement. And then I'm going to read Tony Khan's statement, then we're going to get your thoughts, Kevin. Phil played an important role within AEW, and I thank him for his contributions. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause, they keep bringing that up with cause, interesting, is ultimately my decision and mine alone. Okay. Of course, I wish I didn't have to share this news, which may come as a disappointment to many of our fans. Nevertheless, I'm making the decision in the best interests of the many, many amazing people who make AEW possible every week, our talent, staff, venue operators, and many others whose efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our fans great shows on television and arenas and stadiums throughout the world. There we go. So that's Tony Khan, pal. That's the statement. A bit to unpack there. I think I've read it to the best of my ability. Kevin, enough of that. Everyone wants to know what Wrestling Uncovered thinks about CM Punk being fired by AEW. Talk.
For me, I'm firmly in the side of CM Punk on this, 1,000%. I originally, when the all-in thing or the all-out thing happened last year, I was kind of like leaning towards AEW and the Young Bucks and, not Jack Perry, but Hangman. Hangman was one of the catalysts there. Now, at this juncture, firmly in the side of CM Punk, in the corner of CM Punk. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the instances that AEW has had transpire under the watch of Tony Khan. So we had Eddie Kingston and Andrade get into a legit fight backstage. We had Sammy Guevara, had some comments resurface about him wanting to do things to Sasha Banks. We had Thunder Rosa was bullied and by somebody. I can't remember who it was. There were the reports that she was afraid, she'd hide in the locker room.
Big Swole.
Big
Swole.
Was it Big Swole that was bullying Thunder Rosa?
Oh, not bullying, but she had her separate thing with the representation.
Britt Baker. It was Britt Baker, yeah. So Thunder Rosa was scared of Britt Baker and her crew. And then, the Big Swole thing. Sammy and Andrade. Can't forget that. And CM Punk here, he gets fired. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And Tony Khan attempting to fire him with cause. So what that means is that Tony Khan does not have to pay him his contract because he is legally had a reason and he says that he's claiming that CM Punk violated his contract. So unless he has some other dirt on CM Punk that we don't know about, CM Punk is going to fight that for sure. CM Punk's going to fight that he was fired with cause. Like what is the cause? You know, he got into a little altercation with Jack Perry, and he lunged at Tony Khan allegedly, caused monitors to fall on him, and then the statement that Tony Khan read, or not read, the statement that he presented before Collision went on the air and then during Collision, saying that he was scared for his life. Like, come on, bro. Are you kidding me? And unless there's something crazy out there that we don't know. If there's a detail out there that we don't know, that something else was involved, that like there were threats or like Punk like had a weapon or something. If there's like real criminal case against CM Punk that we don't know about, if literally all that happened was Punk was angry and yelled at Tony Khan and lunged at him, and Tony Khan was out there on live TV saying that he's scared for his life, that is not a great look. This whole thing is not a great look for AEW. It's really it's a joke. It's a joke. The whole thing makes the company look like a joke. First of all, you bring in this guy, CM Punk. You know what you're getting into. All out last year at the press conference, CM Punk demasculates Tony Khan right next to him on camera at the post-media scrum. You know, yeah, Tony Khan shares a bank account with his dad. That'd be hilarious. I would love to see CM Punk at a podcast. So he's out there, all out media scrum, demasculates him. Basically shows that Tony Khan has no power, you know, in the locker room. He's saying whatever. Tony Khan does nothing about it. You know, okay, cool. Then after he gets demasculated, 9 months later, you bring the guy back. You already know he's a problem. You know he had problems with a lot of guys in the locker room. You saw it in every story CM Punk was involved with in AEW. What was the common theme? What was MJF? What was Cody saying? What was Eddie Kingston saying? What was John Moxley saying? Oh, we don't want you here. Big ego. CM Punk's not going to be around. He's a jerk. So you know all that. And then you proceed to bring him back 9 months later, and you give him his own show. You negotiate a 2-hour live TV show that you don't need. You know, AEW doesn't need another live TV show. They're not a big enough company. You give the guy his own show, give him full creative control. You let him run amok. You let him send wrestlers home, fire wrestlers, bring wrestlers over to his own show. And then you fire the guy 2 months in because he punches one of your EVP's friends. You know, it's and Tony Khan could do this because he has his daddy's money. You know, he has enough money. The family has enough money that AEW does not need to make a profit. AEW can operate for 100 years and does not need to make a profit. That's how rich these people are. Money is literally nothing to them. They spent $60 million on a video game. They don't care. They spend $10 million on CM Punk. Give him his own show. They don't give a fuck. That money is not an object to them. So they could do it. Why not? You know?
Kevin, the specifics of this, because obviously we know about the all-in well, we haven't seen footage. Maybe there is footage of this, and it may come out. I don't know. We've seen reports. We know the gist of what happened there, which, as they reference in the statement, was one of the catalysts or the main thing that's triggered this taking place. We don't know. Now, the way Tony Khan was that with, I guess, the fear, the workplace, being scared of this person in the workplace, that Punk's this abrasive bully personality and that causing issues. It's hard to comment on that specifically. We're not in the AEW locker room. We're not going to pretend to be AEW behind the scenes personalities who are at shows, who are working with talents. We don't know. This is one of these things which in years from now is going to be fascinating to listen to on shoot interviews. Like the behind the scenes of CM Punk in AEW. This is going to be one of the great mythical things of shoot interviews. What actually happened? What did he say to this person? Did he like X? Did he have an issue with this person? How did X play out? A lot of it waits to be seen. And when it comes to this, I mean, a year ago, All Out 2022, this really, in my opinion, that was the moment that we don't know where AEW goes. We don't know whether that was the moment that caused the downfall of AEW. Maybe AEW has a boom period now, Kevin. I don't know. But I guess the question I'll ask you is, in the I guess, the landscape of AEW, when we look back now, Kevin, in a year, 2 years, what will you look back on as, I guess, the legacy of CM Punk in AEW? Because he came in 2 years ago, immense fanfare in the United Center. I remember being emotional watching it. It was like this big, oh my God, I was showing friends. It was a legendary reaction. It's like a remember where you were sort of moment. I can point you in my house where I was, how I felt. A year later after that, the infamous all-out 2022, going off about your managers, going off about your boss as he's sitting right next to you, totally unprofessional. How justified and provoked that was, yeah, I get it, but still incredibly unprofessional. That happens. Now this, you mentioned all the stuff with Collision, sort of some of the backstage. This happens in 2023, basically a year after the all-out 2022 thing. What's CM Punk's AEW legacy to you? When you look back, what's CM Punk's AEW legacy?
I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna tell you what I think CM Punk's legacy is. But first, I want to explain in more detail why I'm on CM Punk's side in this. So let's think back. Let's go back 35 years, right? Let's just say it's 1988, right? And you have an undercard guy. Let's say you got the Brooklyn Brawler, for example, one of the legends of this business, the greatest jobber, the most legendary jobber of all time, but an undercard guy and a jobber. Now, CM Punk is the Hulk Hogan to AEW. CM Punk is the biggest star, biggest merch mover, and it's not even close. You know, like you could try, like the dirt sheets can try to, like, the people that hate Punk can try to fudge the numbers and say that Orange Cassidy's moving more merch than Punk. I'll believe it when I see it. You know,
no. Yeah.
CM Punk drew their biggest buy rates, their highest ratings. He's the Hulk Hogan of that company. Let's say it's 1988. The Brooklyn Brawler is like Jack Perry, you know, undercard guy. This guy was on the pre-show of the biggest show that AEW's ever ran. And he's making fun of and calling out the biggest star. If Brooklyn Brawler was making a joke of Hulk Hogan in 1988 in the opening match or the dark match of like WrestleMania 3, what do you think is going to happen to the Brooklyn Brawler? You know?
The thing is, Brooklyn Brawler, I get it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
The structure was very different. That company wasn't run by, like, the management of that company wasn't all of Brooklyn Brawler's friends who are executives, and then they aren't buddy with the big head.
No, I know. I get that. I'm not disputing that. I'm saying why I'm on Punk's side. Like, I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
But this is an undercard guy making fun of the biggest star in the company.
Yeah.
You know, and the boss is not going to do anything about it because he's wants to be buddy with everyone. And there's really no one else under him, under Tony Khan. You know, so CM Punk takes matters into his own hands. They want to run the show like the Wild Wild West. They want to run it like it's an amateur hour. CM Punk's going to treat it like an amateur hour. You know, in WWE in 2013, if an undercard guy that nobody barely knew was making fun of CM Punk when he was a WWE champion, like for real, like shooting on CM Punk, that guy'd be handled. You know, John Laurinaitis would be like, "Hey man, there's no room for that in this company. Get out of here." You know, AEW doesn't have that structure, so CM Punk takes matters into his own hands and it's like, "Yo, what the fuck, Jack Perry?" You know. Like, who are you? You know, and then you got this guy, Jack Perry, this guy who was born in Hollywood Hills, probably never been in a real fight. You know, he's the son of an actor. Probably everybody wanted to be his friend growing up. You know, this guy never really is in any conflict. Probably doesn't have very good people skills, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have a guy like CM Punk who's from the streets, like literally was homeless in Chicago growing up. You know, what's going to happen when you put those two in a room, you know? And you have no one there to say, hey, like keep the checks and balances. So if anything comes from this, if anything good comes from this, Tony Khan needs to invest in getting a guy like John Laurinaitis, a guy like Bruce Pritchard, a guy like that's going to come in and say, hey, you know, like we're gonna keep things in check here, you know.
Well, Kevin, does AEW have a head of talent relations?
Yeah, Daniels, who's like Christopher Daniels, who's the Young Bucks' best friend,
and that's the problem because he's just a friend of them. It's not some, and this is where I get it. This is where a lot of the guys who've left WWE and have gone to AEW and being the game changers, infamously starting with Moxley, he's talked about this on Talk Is Jericho and every interview he's done almost. But really, a lot of the guys have moved over. WWE have too many suits and ties, people with big titles a lot of executive people. But that, one of the positives at least, is it prevents pretty much what's happened here, which, as you're saying, the lack of sort of that structure has led Punk to be like, well, F this guy. Like, he's taking shots at me like every time he's on TV because he's a moron and he's got no people skills and he's privileged. I'm gonna headlock him. I'm gonna whack him. Like who does he think he is? And then a monitor's fallen on Tony Khan. There's been this conflict. Tony Khan's there, like, he's just like, oh my god. You know, Khan doing his like the big beady eyes he does. He's like he's just shocked. He's like, oh my god, conflict. What? AEW's a safe space. What the hell? And then this has happened, and then he's gone, oh my god. And then what they call it in the statement, pal, the discipline committee, which, I mean, I'm not gonna speculate who's in that, but I mean, Young Bucks, Omega, Christopher Daniels, Jack Perry, Tony Khan. I don't know who'd be in that, did you think? But I don't know. I mean, I guess they've just gone, nah, get rid of him. He's a problem, bye. And then they've terminated with cause, which that's a big grounds for a lawsuit. If I'm Phil Brooks, I'm looking at that going, terminate with cause. The same people firing me bashed in my locker room door and assaulted me in front of my best friend, his wife, and a dog. It literally assaulted me, workplace harassment. So allegedly. So all this stuff is going to play out. It's going to play out in court, I reckon. This is going to be a spicy lawsuit. You say, yeah, the Khans have so much money. How much could Punk get him for if he is proven to be right and there's some evidence, or he can back up what in eyes would be the truth in this situation? This is going to get spicy, pal. There's so much more on this. Kevin, I don't know, anything else? Because, I mean, there's so much. This is like the second biggest story of the year, I think, behind, unfortunately, and this isn't even a story, the tragic passing of Bray about a week ago. That was just heartbreaking. This is very different. This is the most spicy drama in wrestling. This is going to get a Wrestling Uncovered video. People are already commenting on my Dark Side of the Ring CM Punk video from a year ago, requesting a part 2 after what's happened here. So, Kevin,
let me tell you CM Punk's legacy now.
Yeah.
So CM Punk's legacy at AEW is it's going to be the backstage stuff. It's going to the backstage stuff at his debut on the first Rampage. His backstage stuff is going to overlook everything that he's done in the ring aside from his debut with the company. Mm-hmm. Every promo, every storyline, every match is way overshadowed by the all-out situation last year and the all-in situation this year. And all the constant news, the drama about him sending this guy home, and he has beef with Hangman. Oh, Dave Meltzer's writing stories about him. It's amateur. It's amateur on all sides, CM Punk included, to a degree, But CM Punk, like I said earlier, or like I said on a previous episode, he's from a bygone era, So,
I mean, yes, I get it. No, I get it. But Punk, I mean, we've known this since since he left in 2014 for the first time. He's a ticking time bomb of frustration. It's his way or the highway. If you're with me, thank you. If you're against me, F you. Direct quote from Phil. So stuff like this, when he's got natural, just Phil Brooks, he's got a sort of abrasive personality. This is a guy who blasts writers backstage in like 2011 in WWE. A writer would come up to him being like, Phil, what do you think of this? And they'd like anxiously pass him a bit of paper. Punk would read it and be like, that sucks, and throw it away. And then the writer would, trudge back to the writer's room and be like, Phil didn't like that. Let's rewrite something. Hopefully he doesn't get angry this time. Like that was Punk 12 years ago when he was in his prime, in his early to mid 30s. Now he's in his mid 40s. He's irritable. He's pretty much done it all in wrestling already. He's making a ridiculous amount of money. A bunch of the personalities backstage. Punk's looking at him going, I grew up, and 20 years ago, I was wrestling guys who were like the type you mentioned, like these guys who are hard as nails, this real like wrestler in like just the sort of stereotype, hard man wrestler who took no BS. And now I've got Jack Perry and these other guys who are all his friends who are just weak as piss, soy boy, like idiots who can't take anything. They complain, they cry over nothing. They're making issues and kicking up stinks to me because I have an issue with them, and they're trying to take digs at me in every turn. F this guy. And so I get where Punk's coming from. I get where the Elite are coming from. If you've ever worked in or the Elite or, Tony Khan, that sort of thing. If you've ever worked in like a company and there's been a personality who you thought, oh, they're a problem. Like this stuff can arise, maybe not to this extent. So Kevin, look, the legacy of Punk, can we say we're surprised this sort of thing happened? I can't say I'm surprised. Seeing it play out in real time though, from the moment the rumors started of Punk coming to AEW in mid-2021 to now, we've seen this full thing play out. Feels like watching a soap opera. It's been cinema, pal. This has been cinema.
Cinematic, pal.
Cinema.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna look back at Punk's run at AEW. It's gonna be crazy. He's not the only guy that's difficult to work with. All the top stars are. You know what I mean? You think writers in 2001 weren't afraid of Steve Austin? We know, like, I've already uncovered what Steve Austin was like at that time. So Hogan. I'm sure Hogan wasn't the easiest to deal with, as I've talked about before too. So it's a common thing. Shawn Michaels out there fornicating people's wives, and yelling at Bret Hart and stuff. So CM Punk's not the first and only guy that's difficult to work with.
And as Brian asked, I'll ask you, it's a good talking point as well. So Punk's done now?
Probably.
Because, I mean, we're going to hear a lot from Punk in court. Yeah. I have no doubt about that. This is going to be one of the big things in wrestling for the next year, or however long this goes for, the fallout of this decision from Tony Khan and the AEW, what do they call that committee? The
discipline committee?
Yeah, pal, the discipline committee. And Tony Khan.
That's the Cucamonga kids, pal.
Allegedly. But this being said, pal, yeah, Punk's done. Do you see Punk back in the E, pal? Do you see Triple H being like, yeah, that same CM Punk who in 2011 was trying to make fun of me at every turn and, got angry at me and buried me in interviews, and that guy who trashed me at every cost and made fun of my wife and my family and all that. I need to get him back because Punk versus Roman could be a good match.
Well, the clip surfaced of Seth Rollins being asked about a CM Punk return like last year. And Seth Rollins was like, yeah, we don't want that cancer. Keep him out of the locker room. We don't want him here. He was a cancer then. He's still a cancer. We saw what he's doing at AEW. And he's like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks on the CM Punk experiment. So I don't think CM Punk's phone is going to be ringing anytime soon by Triple H or Nick Khan. I don't think so. CM Punk is starring in Heels on Stars. Him and his wife are now on season 2. They're both. He was in season 1. Now she is in season 2. So that's going to be his main job now. I think he's going to be doing a little acting. I think he's done. I don't see him coming back to wrestling. I don't think he doesn't have a passion for it like that, as you could tell. So yeah. Yeah,
he's the patience and tolerance. And I want to say people skills. His people skills, I imagine, are quite good if he likes the person. But if he has an issue, he'll just outwardly express it, which I've seen people and sort of fall out in the discourse around this is sort of, if he doesn't like them, like, why should you have to be, cooperative and civil with them? And it's like, by saying that, you're telling us you've never dealt with people in a professional environment. Is what I'm hearing when I hear people say, well, if Punk, he was wrongly done by these people, he should be able to speak his mind and do what he wants. And all this. Like, yeah, okay, cool, but it's a professional. We'll call AEW professional company. You can't just go around doing you can't go around insulting the management broadly in front of the head honcho at a media scrum, trashing them, swearing about them. Any job you get fired doing that. So I'm surprised Punk wasn't fired all out last year. And then we get to this, and there's been more incidents, and who knows, maybe there are more incidents we don't know about, Kevin. So, yeah, it is what it is now. Mm-hmm. It's going to play out in court, as we say. I think the best is yet to come of this. And by the best, I mean the most scandalous, the most juicy, a Punk side of this is going to make an incredible shoot interview, an incredible legal case. It's going to, I think this will rock the wrestling world more than has already. this is going to change wrestling one way or the other. Either how AEW goes about business, the structure of AEW, financially they'll be okay regardless, but maybe something's changing. That's all I'm going to say. There's going to be a lot to come from it. There's going to be a big domino effect from CM Punk getting fired, pal. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for the podcast portion of the show. Now we're just going to hang out with the live stream chat, do a little goofing around, so that if you're on Spotify, you're listening to us on there, Apple Podcasts, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. And we'll talk to you guys on the next one. All right, so now we can go off the rails, pal.
Yeah, it's time to go off the rails. Chat, do your thing. This is what you're good at. Most outrageous chats, whatever. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, what do you guys want to talk about?
Pal, this is going to be a unhinged edition.
Oh, we're going around the globe, pal? Going around the globe, pal?
We're going around the globe, but the chat's involved this time. So.
Around the globe. Ooh.
Kevin, are you all right? Kevin, you I just want to make sure you seem a bit tired. It's like midnight. You were just, So some of the things you want getting some facts straight with a certain match in that Payback review. So I want to make sure you're all good.
Well, what facts?
Sweet.
Well, what match? What match are we talking about?
No, I'll let you watch it back, pal.
Oh, you're talking about Becky versus Trish? Becky versus Trish?
I think so. I don't remember. One of them you said something. I was like, huh?
Well, it's 3.5 stars. I think it's 3.5 stars. You think it's 4 stars?
Pal,
if Tony Khan wrote Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus on a piece of paper, I'd give it 4 stars, pal. How about that?
Oh my god, pal! This is going to be the most unfiltered. Pal, that Zoe Stark, Trish, Becky, everything involved in Kevin. That's going to cause uproar, pal. Your rating. We're going to have masses coming for our podcast. Kevin said 3.25 stars. Oh my god, deplatform him.
Yes,
I can see it now.
Yes. So you guys want to ask me anything crazy, and you want to hear some crazy stories from me or Jimmy or what?
Literally, chat AMA. Ask us anything, any topic, any question, You want to know what videos Kevin's crafting next for his channel? Do you want to know if I'm ever going to upload again? Anything. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is interesting. How long? I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. Hey, we might go to like 4 a.m. Who knows? Just talking nonsense, pal.
Pal, I want your honest opinions. All right. I know we ended this discussion like 2 minutes ago with the Punk AEW thing, but I still can't get over that. Just to carry on, the fact that this is a termination of literally the Hogan of that company, and he's gone. It's just ridiculous. It's
like in 1996, if Bret Hart got fired over Ahmed Johnson, Ahmed Johnson was shooting on Bret Hart, attacking him for real, or whatever, making jokes about him, and then Bret Hart's just it's like, hey, what the fuck? And Vince nah, we're keeping Ahmed Johnson.
Pal, imagine Roman Reigns headlock Shanky in the gorilla position. They fired Roman Reigns.
Yeah, exactly. Are you kidding me? All right, so
imagine a monitor fell on Paul Levesque.
All right, pal. Yeah, that's a funny visual. We got some questions. So
yes.
Brian wants to know what Australia is like.
But no, before I address that, Kevin, I need your thoughts on something. Dennis Rodman appeared on Collision. Kevin, what are your thoughts? Kevin, that's an NBA champion. That's a North Korean ambassador. That is I'm going to stop there before we get thrown off. Wow. What are your thoughts on Dennis Rodman on Collision, pal?
I don't care. It's 2023. It's not 1998. Why do I care about Dennis Rodman showing up on a Collision? Who cares? Oh, it's in Chicago. Okay, cool. Fair. Chicago Bulls legend. I applaud. Give it up to him. Respect the 97, 96, 97, 98 Bulls. Love it. But I don't need to see Dennis Rodman like wrestling a fake match or whatever he did, get beat up by Wardlow or whatever.
Pal, you think we're ever gonna get a Wrestling Uncovered video on Eric Bischoff, literally, and Ted Turner, the WCW brass, paying excessive six-figure dollars under the table to Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone in the NBA Finals, NBA games, to literally fight each other to try and build up a pay-per-view match? Do you think that's outrageous? Like the fact that it's like, saying that out loud, a real NBA. This is Michael Jordan in his prime, and like 30 million people watching finals games. And Ted Turner, Eric Bischoff, and WCW brass are paying hush money under the table to get Rodman and Karl Malone to fight each other and get ejected and like get in trouble during games to build up a match. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a Wrestling Uncovered video on that at some point. There's gonna be. I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I have so many video ideas. Like it's a nonstop, endless flow of ideas. You know, I got.
Yep, must be nice.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's just like I think I found my calling for YouTube. I think I finally figured it out.
Now, I love the comment you got. I don't know. Most of you would have watched Kevin's video about Hogan and the black eye. There's one commenter who freaked out.
Yeah.
6 seconds in, you were like, you stated an objective fact. WrestleMania 9 is one of the worst WrestleManias ever. That is just a fact. And Kevin just states this, one of the worst WrestleManias objectively ever, WrestleMania 9. Hogan, blah, 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 and everything you said in the rest of the video. And one commenter wrote an essay about why you're some modern era fan, you're biased, WrestleMania 39, and he listed a bunch of the modern ones are worse than 9. I'm like, was everyone watching a different show to this person? It's WrestleMania 9. The show sucks. Like, get over it. This was 30 years ago.
You know what you'll like about this? Go back and read that comment. And he says, oh, you need to stick to your generation. Go back and watch WrestleMania 26, 27, 28, 29, 33, 34, 35, and then tell me about bad WrestleManias. So he grouped one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, WrestleMania 28, in this group of WrestleManias that I need to go rewatch before I say that WrestleMania 9 is a bottom 5 WrestleMania.
And Kevin, I will say, with the content you make, it's sort of like older school, like, some of the stories where you've done stuff like the steroid trial and things from the 90s and Scandal, maybe like late 80s, early 2000s. You're going to draw in fans that are like that, they're like crazed and sensed on that era, or like are so impassioned by the early 90s, the late 90s, and just everything else to them. They see tunnel vision, early 90s is amazing, everything else sucks. So that's sort of what that was. I'd take it.
Here's a great comparison for that. A lot of people look at that WrestleMania 8, 9, like that era. It's kind of like if you were like 7 years old watching Cena and Orton in 08, 09. You're just gonna think that's the best thing ever, because that's what you watched as a child. You know what I mean? It's like we know some people like that in the community that love the Cena Orton feud, think it's the best thing ever. But everybody else that's like either younger or older than people that were at that right age when they were really impressionable is like, that sucked. It was awful, Because I know there's one podcast that I listen to, and one of the guys on the podcast loves WrestleMania 9. Thinks it's like top 10 WrestleMania ever. Loves that era, loves Hogan coming back. And it's just, you're hit at the right time,
Not for real. Also, Brian, Matt Hardy's on the discipline committee also. I'm not going to comment. I'm just not going to say anything. Nothing I say from that bit of information will be good for our podcast. I'm just not going to say anything. Kevin, with this being said, what is to come? What is your next video or two? Because we're talking about your channel, older topics. What can we look forward to?
Oh, so my next video is going to be about WrestleMania 7. So I'm going to title that how WrestleMania 7 derailed the WWF's momentum at its peak. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. For those of you who don't know, WrestleMania 7 was built up to be this massive heel versus babyface match. Hulk Hogan, peak Hulk Hogan, after he jobs to the Ultimate Warrior, does a movie, is coming back to wrestle the evil heel, Sergeant Slaughter, who is this American, G.I. Joe American hero. and he just turns heel and aligns himself with Iran, you know, and he's just like, I love Iran. And Vince McMahon thought it was a great idea to use a real life war that was going on in the Persian Gulf War, and had Sergeant Slaughter talk about that on TV. So it legitimately turned like millions away from wanting to watch wrestling. Like it literally killed wrestling's momentum. Like they blame it on the steroid trial because they can't talk about this. They really can't talk about it because it was that bad. So they blamed the decline in business on the steroid trial, but it was really the promotion of the Persian Gulf War. They were supposed to do a stadium show. It was supposed to be like 80,000 people in a stadium to watch Hogan Sergeant Slaughter. So many people were disgusted by the WWF use of the Persian Gulf War that they ended up moving the show to like a 10,000 seat arena.
Wow. No, I look forward to, because the one thing I will say with your videos, I do like the way you script them. Some of the wording I'm sure you're going to use for that is going to be scandalous. Just the way, and if everyone watching this, the diehard listeners are still here, when you're listening and watching Kevin's stuff, there'll probably be about 2 to 4 in every video where the way he words it is like purposely either, to get reaction or really kind of, be as blunt and dry as possible, and makes you go, oh my God, what? I didn't say it that way. I wouldn't have phrased it that way. And the way Kevin says it, legendary.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There was one where I was like, oh, the evil Hulk Hogan, or I'm sorry, the mighty Hulk Hogan came back to beat up the evil Yokozuna, like just stuff like that. Yeah. I try to flip it and just get you thinking. And the other video I want to do is about Bash at the Beach 2000. One of the most infamous moments in WCW history. I recently watched the Dark Side of the Ring documentary on that, so yeah, that's spicy.
Kevin, and the thing I must say, that content, there is so much. Wrestling's a treasure trove of just scandal and gossip and news and stories and stuff that you can just go to town on. So I think that's great, pal. So yeah, Brian, I'll give my thoughts on this before Kevin goes on. But what are my thoughts on my brutally honest thoughts on Joe and the wife singing home with the mustard title and feeding his 5 children?
Wow.
I'm used to that, pal. I've used such terms as stat padding. It's a sick game of politics, trying to get through to WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes in the prime of his career, no title to show for it. An absolute political screw job backstage.
Oh my gosh.
It was a political power play, Kevin. If Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, night 2, if he was 1,001 days into his reign, he loses that title 100 times out of 100.
Wow.
But Triple H is using this whole, the WWE chapter book it just keeps going and going. That's a weak excuse to try and get Roman through one extra year, because Kevin, nothing Roman Reigns has done since WrestleMania has needed the championship.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
It's been a Samoan necklace is all they've feuded over. He's defended it once against Jey Uso. If people still think that it was the right decision, I don't understand. What has Roman done? Cody could have had a Brock feud over the title, and now I don't know. We can argue this in Elite Take or whenever. This is supposed to be like a fun AMA sort of thing. I'm not going to keep going on, but yeah. Ridiculous, sick game of politics from Paul Levesque.
Yeah. So Brian wants to know what Australia is like, pal. Yeah, educate us.
Yeah, so art down here. Oh no, so it's a question from Brian, but I want to address art with this. Down here, everyone worships the GOAT, LeBron James. We're a bunch of LeBron James fans down here. We appreciate greatness. We appreciate someone who can get to the finals 10 times without quitting twice in the middle of his career. We appreciate that. Unlike MJ, we appreciate someone who can rebound, someone who can assist, someone who doesn't punch teammates, someone who can win titles at different franchises. Someone who, when he leaves his franchise, they're terrible. When MJ leaves, they still win 55 games and all but make the finals, besides some bogus officiating. We appreciate legends. We appreciate greatness. We appreciate longevity. 21 years of dominance versus, 2 years of quitting, as Kevin can address, when he went away the first time, quitting, and then another retirement, and then a stint at the Wizards. So, MJ, I'm a Bulls fan. Great, incredible player, best scorer of all time, great number 2, but he ain't LeBron, pal. Stop that. LeBron had all the hype about him. MJ was the 3rd pick in the draft. Who did they pick above MJ in the draft? Was it Sam Bowie for the Portland Trailblazers? Come on now. Come on. There you go.
Wow.
Pal, this slander. Nikola Jokic is the GOAT. Kevin, what are your thoughts on Jokic before I go?
I like Jokic.
Okay.
Just gonna handle that. Yeah, I like Jokic. I do. I really do. I think Jokic is already a top 30 guy all time. I think that has to be said. Is Jokic a GOAT? No. Is he the GOAT? No. But he's already an objective like top 10 center of all time. He's in the conversation. You know, he's in that conversation. Jokic was school Wilt Chamberlain if Wilt Chamberlain was inserted into 2023. Wilt Chamberlain would be a glorified rim protector and rebounder in 2023. Jokic would be schooling him, pal. Behind the back dribbles, going right past him, dunking on him. You know, now post game with the groupies, Wilt Chamberlain is and will always be undefeated in that aspect. You know, like people say Magic Johnson is the GOAT with the groupies, but Wilt Chamberlain got him beat.
Magic was a bit too good with the groupies. It took years off his career in the end. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this chat. Now the chat's fully just lost the plot here. This is just there's deleted messages. There's comments about yes, Art Jordan didn't lose in the finals, but what? How many times did Jordan make the finals? What, 6? Yeah, have to make it 10 times, then we can talk. I mean, honestly, like what a joke. And then what is this? Jokic, the GOAT of what, Kevin? I commend
the GOAT
Jokic
of going home, pal.
I commend him on being carried by Jamal Murray through multiple playoff series, the bubble particularly, and then he won the title against an 8 seed. Well done. Fantastic. Wow. Oh.
Hey, the 8 seed beat the 1 seed. So.
Yep, because the 1 seed had his back. The star of the 1 seed, the MVP, best player last 5 years, was tunneled by Kevin Love, and his back gave out in Game 1. And then he came back cripplingly injured in Game 4 and still had triple doubles. And Jimmy Butler dropped 56 on Drew Holiday, and the coach refused to switch the adjustment. Anyway, we'll leave that there.
He was tunneled by Kevin Love. I love that.
Now, Kevin Love purposely injured Giannis Antetokounmpo and cost the Bucks the championship.
Art, I want to know who is the best player of LeBron's generation. If it's not LeBron, I'm curious to see the answer to that.
I'd love to know.
Are you gonna say Kobe?
That's a different generation, isn't it? That's the one between MJ and LeBron.
Yeah, like who's better than LeBron? Curry? You say Curry? Melo? KD? McGrady? Not even McGrady.
I don't know.
If Brian really wants to know what Australia is like, pal, stop dancing around the question, pal.
Now, Australia is fantastic. So I'll be honest here. I'm looking outside right now, okay? I see a few golfers, and I see a kangaroo. Now, I must say, kangaroos up close are legitimate. I find kangaroos intimidating. Kangaroos are weird-looking creatures. So, you know. But anyway, I think Australia is a good place to live, personally, from my experiences. It depends sort of where. We have, I mean, the Gold Coast here is like our equivalent of Miami. That's where all the OnlyFans models are. That's like our version of the party city. And then we have, you know, Sydney and Melbourne, like the other kind of capitals. Western Australia on the other side of the country, they're like 3 hours behind in time zones. They are what they are. It's Western Australia. People want to host a WWE show at Optus Stadium over there with like 70,000 people. Sure, but they're like 3 hours behind the rest of Australia. When they hosted Super Showdown in 2018, the MCG, that was great because like 85% of Australia, it worked perfectly. So do things there. But no, Australia's generally pretty good. We were a bit questionable during a couple of years ago during the, but I won't comment on that. And yeah, Kevin, what's going on?
So Brian, you're from New York. Where I live in Florida is not too much different. You know, you would feel at home out here. You know, there's a lot of New Yorkers. You go to a Marlins game, it's like it's like 60-40, 60% Mets fans, you know. There's like New York style pizza, New York style Chinese food, like on every corner. You know, it's just hotter all year round than New York. You know, and but Florida's awesome, man. Like literally, like I'm 15 minutes, if that, from a beach. You know, there's beaches everywhere, every city. It's a beautiful place, man. I really can't picture myself living anywhere else, honestly. I can't picture going from the Florida weather, 80 degrees to 100 degrees all year round, and then going somewhere like Colorado and be like shoveling snow and like having to like melt my car, like melt like the area around my car just to leave for work in the morning. Like, no, like couldn't picture to have to do that, you know? The weather's amazing. It's beautiful. The people are so cool. So much diversity, at least where I live. You know, the more north you go in Florida, the more south it gets, as they say. Where I live, like South Florida, Miami, you know, it's like its own country. You know what I mean? Nightlife is crazy. All types of people, every type of person, you name it. I've met people from South Africa. I've met people from Wales. I've met people from India, from Russia, you know, from all types of backgrounds and whatever, you know. Like there's certain places you go to, the people don't even speak English, you know. So it's kind of crazy in that aspect. You know, you could go to a supermarket and not a single person that works there speaks any English. You go to a mall, not a single person in there speaks any English. It's so weird, and it's cool. It's just it's a cool place to live.
There you go. No, that's Kevin. That's a beautifully put breakdown. That was clip worthy. That's how good that was.
Yeah? Wow.
Oh yeah, no. I want to address some other things in the chat. Brian, TWRP love Becky Lynch. Good for them. Giannis to the Knicks. Potentially, if Giannis gets tunneled again or his other co-stars are injured in the playoffs and gets robbed out of a championship again, who knows? Curry smokes LeBron in terms of pure skill. The only thing Curry does better than LeBron is shoot threes. LeBron's literally better at every other aspect of basketball. Actually, maybe dribbling, but
yeah, Curry's better at dribbling. Yeah,
dribbling.
definitely.
Yep. Yeah. Dribbling, LeBron's a better passer. LeBron's a better.
No, hold on. Curry's also better off ball too.
Okay, off ball. Sure, he runs through illegal screens. You've seen the videos.
Curry's better in the clutch too.
What? Better at what in the clutch?
Hey, if I want someone to take the last shot, it's Curry.
I want Iguodala. What do you mean you want Curry? What?
I'm taking Curry.
LeBron, he's made the either most or second most go ahead or game tying shots in the playoffs, wasn't it? On a good percentage?
I don't know, maybe.
What's Curry done? Now, I don't want Curry taking that shot. Curry will miss. Leave us alone. That being said, pal.
Also, I'm not gonna let you bury the good goddamn name of Stephen Curry. Okay, Stephen Curry.
No, but you're comparing him to Goat James.
Yeah, Stephen Curry has a better layup package than LeBron.
Because LeBron can dunk. Why does he need a layup package?
I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, pal. Steph Curry is a better teammate and a better leader and a better asset to an organization. LeBron James forced the Lakers to trade for Russell Westbrook, derailed their entire momentum. That was the WrestleMania 7 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Steph Curry is a much better professional, a much better asset, a much better teammate, a much better leader.
Professional. This is brilliant. I love this.
Steph Curry is the guy that I want on Good Morning America, representing my brand. You know, okay. LeBron James makes things about himself with the decision to go to Miami, the constant trades, the lack of accountability, the deflection. He got Ty Lue fired, of all people. One of the best coaches in the NBA got Ty Lue fired. Are you kidding me? Steph Curry has stood by Steve Kerr through thick and thin. You know, Steph Curry is not constantly putting players out there in the hot seat. You know, Steph Curry is not like, you know, you better trade for Russell Westbrook or I'm gone. I'm going back to Cleveland, pal. No. Steph Curry is the Tim Duncan of this generation. Steph Curry is...
That I will give you 100%. No, definitely. That's a great comparison. I'll 100% give you that. And maybe Jokic is going to be Tim Duncan. Maybe Jokic will win like 3-4 titles. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this year. It's just probably going to be the Nuggets again. I don't know. No one else is good anymore, it seems. Like, there's no super teams. And LeBron's like 39 in year 21. And he'll average 30 still. Will he win? I don't know. He's still expected to when he's 39, I guess. You know.
And Steph Curry's also... His team is also expected to be title contenders. He has 4 rings. How many does LeBron have?
What?
4?
Oh, well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. How many were the Durant rings? How many were they? Because they're LeBron's rings, but they were literally taken, pal.
How many unanimous MVPs does LeBron have?
LeBron should have like 3 of those.
How many does he have, though? How many does he have?
Oh, my God. Pal, are you going to mention when one voter voted for Joakim Noah and cost him the award in 13?
Hey, that guy was probably a Bulls fan. Is what it is. How many people did that for Steph Curry, though? How many people did that?
One person voted for Joakim Noah and ruined it.
Listen, Steph Curry's such a good human being that even his enemies respect him. Chicago Bulls fans did not respect LeBron. The Chicago media did not respect LeBron. They stole a unanimous MVP from him. That proves that Steph Curry is a better genuine human being than LeBron James. Okay?
Now, LeBron has an I Promise school where all the kids failed maths this year. Okay, LeBron has a school.
Steph also won with a cast and crew of Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green. He'd have to go make a big 3 in Miami. And Steph Curry had to say, hey, Durant, hey, D Rose, hey, Harden, you guys want to play with me? I can't get a ring on my own. And then he won 2.
Flew to the Hamptons crying to get Durant. Please,
he won one
please,
before
we can't
Durant.
beat LeBron. He scored 40-point triple-doubles every game in the finals. We blew a 3-1 lead. Please, we need you, Kevin.
He won one before Durant.
LeBron's second best player was Timofey Mozgov and Matthew Dellavedova. Of course. Delly was his second best player. Like,
whose fault is that?
Kelly Olynyk ripped Kevin Love's shoulder out of his socket and Kyrie rolled his ankle. You know, like, what is this?
That's so funny.
What is this?
That's funny when you say it like
when
that.
LeBron gets punished for that. 6 finals losses. And, like, you know, someone rips Pippen's shoulder out of his socket and Dennis Rodman gets
hold on.
ankle stepped on.
Pippen won a finals with a bad back. Pippen couldn't even stretch. He could barely even get out of bed before games. You should know this. You're a Bulls fan. You should know this about Pippen in 98. Pippen in 98 was like Seth Rollins tonight.
Oh my God. Pal, there's that. And then imagine Rodman gets injured as well. Pal, imagine Jordan's in his prime, pal. Since the mid-90s,
Dennis Rodman was making WCW appearances.
Playing the Supersonics. And they had Shaquille O'Neal.
He was doing coke.
Oh, he had finals losses.
He was doing coke with Fergie. Is that the singer he was doing coke? No, Carmen Electra. He was doing coke with Carmen Electra for 72 hours in Las Vegas in the middle of the finals and doing WCW appearances with Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone.
Yeah, that helped him play well. You're giving Dennis Rodman circumstances and saying MJ. That's just what Dennis Rodman did.
LeBron would be able to overcome it, pal. If he was a GOAT.
Pal, you add Shaquille O'Neal to the Utah Jazz in the mid-90s, it's over for MJ's 3-3 in the finals. Maybe 4-2 will be nice. You know, some guys deal with certain things. LeBron's made the finals 10 times. I'm sorry. Oh, how many's MJ made? You know, how many times MJ quit? I don't know.
Yeah, quit. Yeah.
Yep, quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a Wrestling Uncovered video right there, pal. On MJ quitting. Now, Brian really wants you to talk about the new Undisputed.
Oh my God. The new Undisputed is awful.
It's terrible.
Like, it is, Kevin. Oh, the ratings are in the bin. First Take is like getting 6 times the viewership now. Like, Undisputed is getting 70,000 viewers. First Take's 400,000 to 500,000, which is insane. Stephen A and Shannon Sharp's going to be great. Stephen A is just a better TV personality than Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, I mean, he's made a good career for someone who, I mean, how's Skip Bayless different to me? He's just a white dude who, you know, and he has sports opinions. So Skip's done well, but no, Undisputed is terrible. You don't know, it's just a mix now. Like you'll tune in one day and they'll have Skip sitting in front of Keyshawn Johnson trying to have Keyshawn be Shannon Sharp. Then the next day you'll tune in, it's Michael Owen, Richard Sherman, Keyshawn, and they're all screaming at each other. And you can't hear what anyone's saying. It's a disaster. Kevin, what do you think?
I'm not interested in it. I don't know. It doesn't catch my attention. Like, I like Richard Sherman. I like Michael Irvin. I like Keyshawn Johnson. But now it's just like, it's not what Skip and Shannon was. Like, that was, lightning in a bottle. It was so real. Those guys were really going at it, Now it's just like Skip keeping the peace. Just like, Richard, tell us what you think. And then Richard Sherman will say some outlandish opinion, and then he gets away with it because he played football at one point in his career. Like, it's just like, okay, this guy played the game. We have to listen to him.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not into it, Yeah. And then Rachel Nichols too. You forgot about Rachel Nichols. That's like, geez, I don't know. It's I'm sure. I mean, they're just starting out. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Skip Bayless is a smart guy. Lil Wayne's involved too, which is interesting. Lil Wayne seems to be like the only celebrity that likes Skip Bayless. Like, I saw this compilation clip of Charles Barkley talking smack about Skip Bayless. That was so funny. Oof.
And one more thing, I love that. I watched the Club Shay Shay interview with Shannon and Stephen A, which really good podcast. The one thing, Stephen A making it out like, Shannon, obviously you're hard done by Skip. Myself, it's hard. I couldn't watch that. This coming from the same guy who got Max Kellerman fired. I find that a bit hypocritical, but nonetheless, Shannon and Stephen A is going to be great TV. I look forward to it. I think I answered your question, Brian, I believe. There you go.
Yeah. Is Kobe better than Tim Duncan?
You're more qualified on that debate than I am, pal.
That's tough. That's really tough. I would say, yeah. I would say Kobe is better. Yeah, Kobe's a more skilled basketball player,
Yeah.
Kobe had the tenacity and the attitude and the hunger that only Jordan's had. They're the only two guys that are built the way that those two guys are built,
Who's a better person?
What, ethical wise?
However you want to interpret that.
Kobe or Jordan? Who's a better person?
Oh no, Kobe or Duncan.
Oh, Kobe or Duncan. That's a tough. No comment. I plead the fifth on that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. I'll see how you answer that. But yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that one. Yeah, but it's a very close debate. I think Kobe and Duncan are like both top 7. Could you get our thoughts on Joe Biden as
please.
president?
I love your thoughts on this. I would love, as an Australian, I've watched this for years now, and because the evil Trump man had to go in 2020, pal. I get it. They got rid of him, and we've seen frail, sleepy Joe with dementia for 3 years. He's turning around trying to shake people's hands. And he forgets where he is, and I feel bad. I feel sorry you've had to deal with this. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so how do I
and even if you want to just barely provide an answer on this, I get it. I'm
thinking of what I could say, how I can word it. Put it this way: my wallet and my bank statements wish that Trump were still president. When I look at like, oh wow, I spent that much in gas. Oh, wow. Yeah, those moments like, yeah, I wish we had a Republican in office.
Oh, but he's racist apparently, so he's bad. You can't vote for him. Vote Biden.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Biden is president. Trump provided entertainment. Trump was funny. Trump was memeable in a funny way. Biden is just like, yeah, like some of them he's meme worthy, but it's just like, man, this is kind of sad. Wow. I want to say so much. I want to say there's so much I want to say, but I shouldn't say. There's so much that I want to say. I was
giving my perspective because it doesn't matter for me. I'm just an Australian third party. I'm just watching this all play out. Yeah. I remember the whole thing when Trump was in was like, oh man, this is some orange-faced guy from a reality show. He's not a qualified politician. He's a joke. Ha ha ha. We need a real politician. Let's get, in this case, it was Biden. So I get the actual politician in, and it's as you sort of sad. It's like, oh, this.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about his son either.
No.
So how do I say this? So there's so many things that side of the political spectrum chooses to whitewash under the bridge when it doesn't fit their narrative. You know, like a lot of the things that side stands for are great. You know, inclusiveness and equality and all that stuff.
There's a double standard. There's the media coverage. Trump is getting indicted for breathing and blowing his nose with a tissue. And one side, there's all this other stuff's going on. And there's like a story broke about certain thing in the White House. And that was just not a story within 12 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas if that happened on another side of the spectrum, that's all we hear about on every news article, every channel for months. And it's like,
we've had movies scrubbed. We've had history books rewritten. You know, we've had Google algorithms washed.
Yeah.
You know, conspiracy theories are being removed. Yeah. You know, TikTok is trying to be banned because, you know, TikTok actually allows you to bring you the content that, you know, you. All right, let me stop. Here. We're gonna get taken. We're gonna get taken down.
Before the platform, if you want uncensored, ruthless, off the cuff opinions on this, I guess maybe try and DM us. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. That's all I'll say. There's an election next year, pal. Assuming Trump's not, I guess, either killed or in jail by then, it seems sort of obvious where it's going because you're taking mugshots of a guy who's done nothing wrong. Now the black community's like, what the hell? This is a miscarriage of justice. We like him now. So I guess that happens as well.
Yeah, he got street cred for being charged with a RICO. You know, he got indicted in the same prison for a RICO charge that Young Thug and Gunna got indicted for on a RICO charge for. So yeah, he got all the street cred in the world now. Yeah, Trump is the culture's president now. After that,
I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, you know, I get it with the 2020 thing. How it was like, you know, we got an actual politician now. Hillary was whatever. We got Joe Biden now. We're gonna vote. But now it's like, Kevin, as you're saying, you're literally, you know, the whole of America, about everyone in America, objectively, is on food stamps because of Biden. Not kidding. But yeah, it's just is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the rent, the cost of living, is really wishing that there was a Republican in office right now. You know, rental fees, insurance, so many important things that go overlooked because of the stuff that the media tends to focus on. You know, so yeah. All right, let's get off this topic.
Yeah, just one more, but forget that. Trump's racist, even though he loves black people and black people love him. So anyway, whatever. We move. Whatever.
Tucker Carlson.
Well, that's not really moving at all. That's just the same conversation topic, just a different individual.
I know. I saw he had an interview with Ice Cube after Ice Cube was exposing the Hollywood. That was interesting. Interesting interview. Yeah, that was interesting. I was surprised that they were doing that. San Francisco looks like the worst place in the world. Maybe. I don't know about the worst place in the world, but
the worst place in America, maybe, or one of. I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, no, not even. I mean, yeah, no. I wouldn't want to be in like Memphis right now. All the crime that's going on in Memphis, you know, or places like that. Yeah, Portland. Yeah, Portland's another one.
Kevin, in more happy terms, Kevin, I want your opinion here. You are a diehard American football fan.
Yep.
I want to know, season's coming up. I'm going to get this. I want your opinion before I get brainwashed by Undisputed or from whatever show, First Take, whatever opinion. Who's going to win the NFL this year? Who are the team? Who should I look out for? Because I'm a diehard fan of my Tennessee Titans. Jesus. I think this is our year, but who do you think, pal?
Jesus. Well, in the AFC, the cream of the crop is Kansas City. You gotta watch out for them. Kansas City, Cincinnati Bengals. Those are probably the two favorites. I would say a lot of people like the Bills. Not big on the Bills. The Jets, you know, are also going to get some attention because they got Aaron Rodgers now. They got the CM Punk of the NFL. and Aaron Rodgers
Well,
on their side.
That went well.
I'm not crazy on the Bills. I'm not sold on them overall. I think AFC is the Chiefs and the Bengals. In the NFC, I think the Eagles are the undisputed best team in the NFC, as much as I hate to say it. The Cowboys every year, they're hyped up like they're going to go to the Super Bowl, and then they lose in the first round. The 49ers are good in the NFC. Those are probably the three best teams. Eagles, Cowboys, Niners.
Yep. What about my Titans? Where are they coming?
The Titans are probably like 7th or 8th best in the AFC.
Okay.
Out of 16.
Okay.
You know, they're pretty good. They're a good team. They got a good quarterback. Well, not a good quarterback. I don't know. He's unproven. We'll see. Good running back, good receiver, and DeAndre Hopkins. Good defense.
Keep going. Good this, good that. Keep going.
That's pretty much it, pal.
Okay.
The Giants should be good again. We'll see.
The Knicks have a mid 3. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's wow. That's triggering. A mid 3. Wow.
A mid 3. I mean,
wow.
Julius Randle was having his poster jumped on and burned by Knicks fans, so you can't say otherwise with him.
Yeah, that's it's an embarrassment to the Knicks fan base. Like, it is. I hate, like, okay, I get it. We a lot of us hate the guy. A lot of us hate Julius Randle. Not even hate him. It's a lot of us are just like not into him as the face of the franchise. You know, I get that. Like, some Knicks fans will tell you this guy is the second coming of Karl Malone if you let them talk long enough. You know, but most Knicks fans that are rational are like, no, Julius Randle's not a superstar. He's not a guy that can lead a team to the finals. But, like, you're stomping the guy's jersey. Like, he's still playing for us and giving it his all every night. Like, why are you stomping the guy's jersey? You know? Like, it's not a good look. You know, you don't see other fan bases doing that.
For real. Pal, and speaking of Jalen Brunson, the Knicks transition, are you following Team USA at the moment, or are you just not interested?
I mean, I've heard the rumblings, you know. Oh, RJ Barrett's looking good in the paint. Oh, Jalen Brunson's carrying the team on offense. Okay, cool. Let's see them. Let's see RJ Barrett go to the paint and score 20 points a night against the Heat in the playoffs. You know, I don't care about this FIBA national team. Like, okay, they're playing against bums from like Portugal.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. RJ Barrett looks amazing. Like, Knicks fans annoy the shit out of me, man. Oh, they do. They annoy me so much.
Now, because I'm watching. So this is from an Australian's point of view. So our nation's proudly represented. Josh Giddey's our star player. He's actually a great leader. He's taking the baton from Patty Mills, who was like our nation's leader for like a decade, and Joe Ingles. Now it's, you know, Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels. It's a new generation. Mills, pal. It's a new generation of Australians, which is cool. Watching those FIBA games is weird. Maybe Brian, maybe a couple of others have watched one or a couple of them. I watched Australia, the Boomers play Finland. So Finland has Larry Markkinen and a bunch of bums. So it was basically just, they like triple team Markkinen or like double team the player who actually has NBA cred. And then the rest of them are just these just random white dudes missing threes. I'm like, okay, cool. And then Josh Giddey goes, whack, boom, behind the back. Australia wins by 20. There you go. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, what are my honest thoughts on Ronnie Mauricio having 4 hits in his first 2 games? I think it's funny that the evil empire in the New York Mets now, with the most money in baseball, are trying to play political chess here by calling Mauricio up in September so they can have an extra year of team control of him.
Political chess. I love that.
Like Steve Cohen can't afford to pay the guy $200 million after he's had like 7 good seasons in a row. I digress, though. They got to figure out a way. Huh?
Unrelated to what you're talking about, the phrase political chess is just such like a fun. That's applied to AEW and CM Punk, Cody not winning this year's WrestleMania main event, everything. Political chess. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's this thing that baseball teams do to be cheap. Like, that's what the Tampa Bay Rays do. You know, they call guys up in August because they don't want to pay him an extra year. You know, like, that's not what the New York Mets do. You know, that's not what the New York Mets do. It's not. Like, it's embarrassing to see them play nickel and dime. But either way, the brass, the powers that be, whoever ends up taking the job of the president of operations, got to figure out a way to get these young guys all in sync with a good team around them. I mean, with the core with Mauricio and Vientos and Brett Beatty and Francisco Alvarez, couple that with Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, all the guys are going to be there. Pete Alonso. There's no reason why this team should suck next year. There's no reason for it.
Kevin, how's it feel only having won 62 games? Hey. Kevin, you as Art says, quite literally bottom of the NL East.
Yes, bottom of the NL East. His Phillies are working their way back. I mean, they're not going to catch the Braves anyway. You know, Ronald Acuna is the best player in the world now that Ohtani's hurt. Yeah, I mean, I kind of saw this coming. No, I didn't see like the Mets bottoming out this bad, but I saw their strategy was going to blow up in their face, signing 40-year-old pitchers that are way past their prime. You know, like Scherzer's good, Verlander's good and all, but those guys are 40 at the end of the day. You know, just throwing $200 million around to every player. Like, why did Brandon Nimmo need a $200 million contract? You know, no. Who were they outbidding on that one? Were they outbidding the Tampa Bay Rays, the Baltimore Orioles? The Baltimore Orioles owner literally told their fan base, enjoy these players while we got them, because as soon as we got to pay them, I'm trading them. and you're worried about that team poaching Brandon Nimmo away? Like,
oh my God, pal, is there a CM Punk of the MLB? Like, is there just a toxic personality in Major League Baseball? Like, is there someone who's like the Kyrie Irving, the dramatic, like, there's always drama?
Yes. Damn. Brian, what's the guy's name from the Dodgers that got fired, or he got thrown out of the MLB for beating up a woman?
I'm not laughing about that. I'm just laughing because this is just, oh my God.
What's that guy's name? Trevor Bauer, yes. Trevor Bauer, he is the CM Punk and Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
He's literally a conspiracy theory guy. They think he's like a KKK member. Like, he's
oh my gosh. What?
He's crazy. That dude is nuts. Yeah, he's nuts. Yeah, look into him. Trevor Bauer is a nut job.
Oh my gosh. I'm learning. See, this is why Elite hates it. We learn new things. I do, Elite. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like the best player to ever touch Japan. Yeah. That guy is something. He signed with the Dodgers, this big high profile contract. Then he got just released by Major League Baseball like 3 weeks later because some woman accused him of domestic violence.
That's awful. And no, JK, I was laughing at the bit before that. Come on now. Dear oh dear. Wow, that is horrendous. Because Kevin, I don't follow the MLB as I'm a diehard Diamondbacks fan. But when it comes to the scandal, the players, I'm not as in the loop. So hearing that, I mean, that is scandalous. What I'm hearing, this individual Bauer does, or has whatever, is revolting. So yeah, there you go.
Take a look at Wander Franco on your Google machine. See what comes up with that one. We can't say that one on the podcast. Probably shouldn't even say his name, but I think we can say his name. I think it's okay. Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
A special prosecutor? Let's move on. That's yuck.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How do we get to this, pal? How did this segment?
I was talking about the Mets.
Oh, and how they paid like $400 million to finish bottom of the NL East.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
How does the owner have like the Khan family sort of money? Like, that's nuts.
More. He has more. He's the richest owner in sports, in all of sports. Yeah, he's like some Wall Street mogul. He finessed the Wall Street system and just made a ton of money off of hedge funds.
Oh no.
Yeah, that dude has like JP Morgan money.
That's just disgraceful. All right, I think we'll go like 5 more minutes, I'd say, and then we'll call it there, I think. So yeah, any urgent, big time takes, questions, anything? Because after Wanda, what's his name? We can't really get worse than that. That's despicable. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Tony Khan said he goes to every Jaguars game. Interesting.
Great.
Yeah, good for him.
Jaguars gonna be any good this year? Didn't they won a playoff game last year, didn't
Yeah. I don't remember if they won, but they did make it to the playoffs. I think they did beat the Chargers. Yeah, I think they did.
Hey, Kevin, I know more about the NFL than you do. Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
Kevin,
sure
I
you
have
did, though.
unmatched sports knowledge. Okay.
Yep.
So when you debate me at basketball, NFL, I'm not going to say MLB. Well, those first two, you're done for, pal. You're finished. You're cooked. You're like Punk in wrestling.
Wow. Like Punk in wrestling. Jeez. Yeah, all out is today. Yeah, well, what if it's a work, pal? What if the termination of CM Punk's a work and CM Punk shows up? He just does commentary. He's like, hey guys, I'm back. I'm here to commentate the show, pal.
That's what they should do. All Out opens. They do the All Out intro. Tony Khan walks out to the ring. He gets in the ring. He's being showered with booze. CM Punk! CM Punk! The chanting for CM Punk. He's got to talk, and then Punk comes out, just beats up Tony Khan and says, I quit! And just leaves.
No, imagine like Punk comes out, and you've seen the segment of Bischoff and Vince hugging during Bischoff's debut on Raw.
Yeah.
They do that. Like Tony Khan just like, hey guys, here's my good friend CM Punk, and CM Punk comes out there hugging each other all obnoxiously. Oh, that'd be so funny.
Oh my god.
Vince Punk's just like, I love you. We work the marks, pal.
They're gonna confiscate, I guess, all CM Punk related signs. So if anyone comes to the arena with a, I share a bank account with my mother sign, or Colt Cabana, CM. Actually, they probably like Colt Cabana signs, but if they had CM Punk, Punk's my hero, came here to see Punk, Punk forever, CM Punk, confiscated, gone. AEW security is having none of that, pal.
I love it. All right, well, I guess it's time for us to get up out of here.
There you go.
What a hell of a stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. It was awesome. Yep. It was fun. Love doing this. We got to do more live streams, pal. There's so much energy.
Pal, I don't think we did or said anything